And due to its small particle size, it tends to reflect the blue color. Now the mountain on our left here, this beautiful mountain on our left is called Mount Snow Dome. Snow Dome. It's given that name because the Columbia ice field goes right up and over the top of that mountain and gives it this dome-like appearance. Now, this is not the top of the mountain, so if you're looking for the ice field, you're not going to see it too well from here. Once you're back down at the center, the ice field center, you can see around this ridge to the actual summit. And the first thing that you'll notice from down below is the Dome Glacier. That's another of the large glaciers that flow off of the Columbia ice field. Just to the left of the Dome Glacier is the actual summit of Mount Snow Dome. It's very flat on top, really is a plateau, with at least 100 meters or 300 feet of ice on top. And that's the highest point of the Columbia ice field in elevation. But what's quite unique about that summit is that it's a triple continental divide. It's the meeting point of 3 different watersheds. So the meltwater from the Columbia ice field flows north through the Athabasca River. That's the one that goes past the town of Jasper. Continues to flow north through the rest of Alberta. Eventually the water from that river reaches into the Mackenzie River in the Northwest Territories, with the Mackenzie being the longest river in Canada. That continues to flow north and empties into the Arctic Ocean. So any of the meltwater from this particular glacier may one day reach the Arctic Ocean. Another river that comes from the Columbia ice field is the North Saskatchewan River. And that river flows east from here. That's the one that goes through the city of Edmonton here in Alberta, onwards through Saskatoon in Saskatchewan, continues east into Manitoba, and eventually the water from that river flows into the Hudson Bay in the Atlantic Ocean. And then over on the western side of the ice field, the western part of this ice field sits just within British Columbia, and on the British Columbia side, the water ends up in the Columbia River. That's how the Columbia ice field got its name. The Columbia River flows south through British Columbia, through Washington State, turns west on the Oregon border, and empties into the Pacific Ocean. So the meltwaters really travel a long distance from this point.